Hello and welcome to 5 Tips to Help You, a series in which I show you 5 tips in a game to help you. Very simple, right? Today we're covering CSGO and particularly getting out of the silver leagues and powering your way up to that gold Nova rank. These tips are not necessarily going to be in a top 5 order, like the last one being the most important and best one. I definitely have one that I think is going to be very crucial here, that's going to be helpful to you, and I'll definitely mention that. But you can take it to a personal level and see which one works best for you and which is most important to you. But for me, there is definitely one that I highly recommend. So, let's begin. We're going to start with one of the most crucial and important things in the game. This is something that sticks with you from the beginning of the game, something you think about always, and to the pro players who are still thinking about this very tip and this very thing in the game. It is weapon spread. Almost every gun has a different spread to its fire. The AK is one of the most powerful guns in the game because it has a one-shot kill to the head. No matter the distance, no matter the situation, no matter how much armor the person has, if you shoot them in the head with an AK, they die. So for that reason, if you're able to control your actual aim and your weapon spread, then you can be more accurate. You can make the bullets more likely to hit them in the head, and therefore you're more likely to destroy the opponent. So if we look at the M4, it has a different spread, the pistols work differently, and so on. What I recommend for this tip is to hop into a bot game and shoot at a wall with a few different weapons. You should learn and try to understand the patterns, and then work with them at different distances. You want to go against the spread and try to make your circle as small as possible. So, if we're looking at the AK, it goes up, left, right, or whatever. You want to just go down slightly and then opposite. So if it goes left, you drag it right. If it goes right, you drag it left. And then you make this sort of circle pattern. And then from there, you try to pretend that you're hitting a person, so they're probably moving around. See if you can try some different stances, different spots, and keep that circle as accurate and as small as possible. From there, it's just a case of identifying all of the weapon spreads on pretty much as many guns as you can. If you kind of get a feel for how weapon spread goes on every type of weapon, you should be good to go. From there, after every firefight, after every death you have, think about the way you fired and think about, did you try to control your spread? How well did you do it? And soon you should be able to adjust your aim mid-fight to try and make your shots hit the target more in general. The more accurate your burst of fire, the easier the kill. Next up is a trait that professional players as a majority share throughout all of Pro CS. That is mouse sensitivity, and the idea is very simple. They all share a similar idea with mouse sensitivity. The lower the sensitivity, the easier it becomes to be pinpoint accurate with your shots. At first, this change can make you feel sluggish and worse as a player, but I promise you, with a bit of practice, you will see a change. If it's easier for you to aim at someone, or better yet, their head, then it's easier to land that kill. Very, very simple logic. Everyone has a different natural sensitivity, so you need to find yours. Start by lowering it slightly and playing a game. Keep trying and using a different sensitivity until you find that one that clicks with you. Give it a try. You honestly will see results. Within a day or two of me trying this, I noticed I was able to be a lot more accurate in general in a firefight, and it made my gameplay feel a lot smoother. The third tip we're going to be talking about is the Deathmatch mode. You can shoot at targets and walls all day, but another great way to have good reactions and even better aim is to play some Deathmatch mode regularly. A rundown of what the mode is basically you're put into a map and you're going to experience a very fast-paced game in which when you die, you respawn pretty quickly and your opponents are going to do the same. So this makes for constant firefights all the time. You are never really safe. Your entire team could be in one spot and an enemy could respawn in the center of them. You're forced into reacting instantly, constantly whipping around, doing 180s and firing and hoping to get those shots. And the more you do this, the better your aim is going to be and the faster your reactions. Not to mention, when it comes to shooting at real life targets, not just a dot on a wall, an actual player, you're going to be able to understand their movement a lot better and maybe even improve your own. Not to mention, when you play Deathmatch regularly, you're going to be playing on all the maps at random, and that means you're going to have a better understanding of where good spots to take cover and control are, and giving you a balance with every map in general and a basic understanding prior to you playing competitive. It's going to be crucial that you know a map before you play it on competitive. In Deathmatch, unless you turn this off, when you die, you respawn with a new gun. This is brilliant because it means you're constantly being forced to try every gun in the game. If you can play and pick up any gun and have a basic understanding of how it works and the basic recoil and the reload time and just in general everything to do with the gun, a basic understanding can give you so much more utility as a player. If you're in a competitive, you've killed a guy with a pistol, you pick up his gun and you instantly kind of know how to use that gun, you're a lot better than just having no idea how to use it properly, and that can go a long way in any competitive game. I really recommend you hop into a deathmatch prior to playing any competitive round. It'll make you sort of get that rust off and warm up essentially prior to playing a competitive, and then when you're in the competitive, you've already practiced your aim, your reactions are good, and you're going to be a stronger player in that game. This fourth tip was actually one that had the most impact on my gameplay and helped me the most out of all of these tips, so I honestly really recommend this.
For the third tip, you may find this stupid, but you may ask yourself, why the hell would I practice in CSGO? But if you do take CSGO seriously and you want to rank up and get better as a player, then you should take practice really seriously as well. What I like to do is, whenever I'm not really feeling like playing competitive or I'm not really feeling to try really hard, what I do is I usually hop on to the map called Training Aim.
Set up a warm-up routine in order to get prepared for a competitive match or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, CVO, ESCA, etc. You know by now that your very first match of the day doesn't usually go so well. By creating a warm-up routine, you'll be able to wake up your muscle memory and warm up your hands by getting them used to the game before you start playing. The way I like to warm up is I jump onto a fast aim / reflex training map, and I just practice my headshots on the bots for about 10 to 15 minutes, and once I feel that I'm ready to play, I hop into a deathmatch server, free-for-all deathmatch server, and I practice with actual people, real people. And when I know that I have it down and I'm pretty warmed up, that's when I jump into a competitive game to go and try and rank up or whatever it is I'm going to be doing to that day.
CSGO 2 or Training Aim CSGO, depends which one you prefer more. I will leave that in the description so you guys can check that out. And what that map does is it pops at different times really fast. Well, you can set your own speed, but it pops up a red dot on the screen which you have to shoot, and I really like that because it really tests your reflexes and really tests your accuracy when in terms of muscle memory and stuff like that. So I go on that map and I usually grind it down for about half an hour, just try and get a better score each time. For the fourth tip I can give you is to simply just watch professional CSGO matches. Part of my improvement in CSGO came from analyzing and watching some of the professional matches. You don't really need to sit there and have a pen and paper ready, but just mentally make a note of some of the stuff that the pros do. For example, if you want to take a look at POV, point of view footages of pros, for example, let's say that you're an AWPer, for example, and you want to take a look at how JW maybe plays or how Kenny S plays, and you want to maybe incorporate that in some of your plays. You can just simply watch how they play and analyze their movement, analyze their rotation, analyze some of their plays that they do. For example, I'm on top of the whole professional scene. I watch that stuff. Back when I used to really bet hardcore, I pretty much just stayed on Twitch pretty much up to like 5 hours a day just watching professional matches, and I really learned a lot from that just by watching, just really by watching them play. And you can really see how a team functions when you analyze some of their matches, because you really get to see some of the details that you might miss out on when you're playing. And so that's really one of the best ways to learn CSGO, is to just watch how a professional does it. For example, if you ever play sports and you watch tutorials on how to do a certain move or whatever, this is basically the same way of getting better, is by analyzing the professionals. Let professionals show you how to do it, and then you incorporate that in your own plays. The fifth tip I can give you is to have map knowledge. knowing your map and knowing how a map functions, how the way it works, all the spots, the smokes, is really, really, really beneficial to your skill. Because if you're gonna be playing Dust 2 every day for the rest of your life in CSGO, you're gonna get bored of the game, and you're only gonna be good on that one map. Being good in general doesn't come from playing on one map, which is gonna be Dust 2, for example. You gotta be more open to other maps, and you gotta learn a lot of these maps. For example, Inferno, Mirage, Cobblestone, maybe. We have Nuke. We also have Overpass sometimes. Dust 2. If I'm missing any other maps, just let me know. I might have missed like 2 or 3. I just don't really have them on top of my head right now. But these maps, they're played pretty much everywhere. In the professional scene, they're played in competitive, in matchmaking, everywhere. So having map knowledge is really, really beneficial to you, because when you're going to be hopping into that match, you're going to know how that map works, and you're going to be knowing all the all the common spots that you might have missed out in let's say Inferno. There's like a lot of spots that you can hide in that people usually miss. So knowing all those common spots would really, really help you out in exploring yourself as a player and getting better. Also learning some of the smoke spots. If you ever played Inferno, Inferno has a lot of smokes that you can execute in order to take sites, in order to rotate or whatever that you need to do, in order to hold down sites, in order to retake sites. It's really beneficial that you learn smokes for each map and learn all the common spots for each map, and just have basic map knowledge for the maps that you're going to be playing in competitive, and be open to more maps. Having map knowledge will make you get better in the long run. It's not necessarily a skill that you can practice, but it is a skill that will help you out as a player. And if you want to get better as a player and you want to work with a team, then having map knowledge is key to success.